Have you ever wondered what would happen if you got 600 designers, put them in a box, and all you told them was that they had to design a car that embodied the experience of performance? You get that. This is the Polestar Synergy, and it's as mad as it looks. Polestar, an all-electric car brand that's kind of a sportier younger brother to Volvo. And yes, quite a lot of the bits are related, as well as being close kin to Zeekr models in China under the auspices of the parent company Geely. But as a brand, it's kind of hit the ground running. People who would have previously only considered a BMW or a Mercedes suddenly have a Polestar 2 on their shopping list. And it's a really good car. I had one and completely ruined the range by putting a massive roof rack and lights on it. But it was a great EV. This is the special edition BST, by the way. It's got up to 475 brake horsepower, it's very fast, and BST is an abbreviation of the word beast. Grr. But the company is not stopping there. This car is the Polestar, you guessed it, 3. Way to go with the really inventive naming strategy, Polestar people. And it is a large luxury SUV with a monster 111 kilowatt hour battery, up to 517 brake horsepower and 380 miles of range. And I actually happen to think it's really good looking. Now this one is on Volvo's SPA2 platform, or Scalable Product Architecture, which means it's related to the Volvo EX90, but kind of more energetic. It's supposed to have a proper Polestar feeling to the way it drives, a feeling that's more direct than a Volvo. Looks good, huh? Well, for an £80,000 starting price, it blooming well should do. And yet, there is more to come. There's the Polestar 4, which is a coupe SUV that doesn't have a rear window, instead it has a load of cameras. Then there's the Polestar 5, which is based on the Polestar Precept concept, which is a big saloon. And then there's the Polestar 6, which is a convertible 2+2 that's based on the O2 concept. So Polestar does actually have form when it comes to making concept cars a reality. I'm just not sure how it's going to manage here, though. Mainly because with previous concept cars, you could see the bones of production poking through, and the Synergy is more art than reality. But what's wrong with a little bit of fantasy? Not those ones. Like I said, it's the product of a Polestar Design Contest, a gladiatorial battle of 600 random designers to see who could produce the most striking bit of invention. Those designs then got whittled down to 10, then 3 finals, 1 interior and 2 external. And then those designs were then mashed together and the Synergy was born. A full-size concept car that's partly inspired by hammerhead sharks, partly by emotional durability, and partly by floating comfort and control, which all sounds very intellectual. Apart from the sharks. The idea here, obviously, isn't production. The idea is more the idea itself. Polestar keeping things moving as the progressive entity it keeps telling us it is. Some design cues on this thing might actually make it to production cars of the future, but this thing is not going to be hitting the streets anytime soon. For a start, it's as practical as a chocolate teapot. Single seat, lower than a politician's morals. Like, really, really low. The front has this absolutely mega snowplow of a front valance, and then there are some stickers here which are supposed to represent where the sensors for the advanced driver assistance system should be, presumably to sense my ankles. The lights are this kind of twin blade design that you'll see on all new Polestars, albeit a little bit exaggerated. You can see them in the Polestar 3. But I adore the way that these front wheel arches kind of pontoon out into the back, and they have these cutouts in there that allow you to see the suspension, and I suspect they relieve some pressure for front aero. And those lights kind of arc out and back over the top, which again, you'll need because this thing is so low, you're always looking down on it if you're over 1 metre tall. The trailing edge of that wing has some cameras mounted in it, which is cool. I'm not sure what they'd actually be able to see, but I think it's fun. And then there's some extra aero elements down here. And the wheels are a kind of modern take on the classic Tron 3-spoke. It is a little bit out there, but I like it. The rear arches are obviously massive and wide, but they've got this really sharp crease all the way down them here that then forms the leading edge of this integral rear wing, the central section of which I think moves because it's got a seam in it. And that's above this full width translucent rear light bar. This is essentially the world's sexiest postbox. As far as the interior goes, it took a bit of work to make it work. Now, Polestar was actually taking inspiration from all three designers and then melding them all together to create a coherent kind of life-size model. But the two exterior designers both considered a single-seat concept. So the original interior design, which was a two-seater, had to be reworked to take that into account. What appeared was a three-layered interior. The first one is a driver monitor, which shows all the relevant information about the car's performance. The second is connected to the steering wheel yoke and produces biometric information about you, the driver, like pulse rate. So technically, the Synergy will know if you're in love. And lastly, there's an augmented reality visor integrated into a bespoke helmet thing that gives you track and road data. I told you it was a bit science fiction. The names on the side, by the way, are the three winning designers, so that's nice. As far as motivation goes, you'd expect a car like this to have dual motors, a hefty battery pack and performance to match. But if you consider that the Polestar 3 already has a really big 111 kilowatt-hour pack and the Polestar 6 is due to have 886 brake horsepower as standard, I think the engineers could probably handle that without too much of a problem. I do think the Synergy actually is really cool. Okay, so it's not for production, but Polestar's design boss, Maximilian Mizzoni, said, we're not going to do this, but we would really like to do this, and didn't rule out the possibility of a supercar by Polestar inspired by the Synergy sometime in the future. For now though, this is just a dream. Shame.